And now let's talk about a movie that is absolutely, positively, and without a doubt going to be on my best list for the end of this year. By the end of The Substance, you don't know whether to cry, recoil in horror, or vomit. But one thing is for sure, writer-director Coralie Fargate keeps you invested. Here's a body horror flick that makes you wonder when the last time you saw a really good one really was. It reminds us of Cronenberg, of great body transformation pictures. It's absolutely disgusting, and rather than preachiness, that establishes the point here very well. And you're also going to have a really hard time getting Demi Moore out of your head once this one ends. This should be the horror performance that absolutely gets Oscar voters to break already. It's a damn good one that breaks your heart as much as it makes your entire body cringe just looking at it. She plays a character named Elizabeth Sparkle, a one-time movie star and Oscar winner who has moved on to hosting a fitness morning show. But her lecherous boss, played by Dennis Quaid, has deemed her too old for even that, leaving her a crying, drunken mess in her apartment with no family, friends, and now even motivation to live. But hope will arrive when she's given a thumb drive mentioning the Substance, a medical kit that comes with several large, intimidating needles, in addition to tubes, syringes, and some nasty, gooey food to be fed through an IV. It's a program to create a whole new self, one which promises will still be her, just younger. Essentially, their brains will still be the same. I won't go into how the new self comes about. I'm not sure it's in the trailers or not, but I felt it best to experience it knowing as little as possible. As body horror goes, though, it's gonna go down as a classic set piece. One that reminds of An American Werewolf in London, the invasion of the body snatchers, and the alien birth from Alien. Basically, it's fucking wild. But if how painful this scene plays out doesn't seem like a huge catch already, there's more. Elizabeth will emerge as a new, hot young thing named Sue, played by Margaret Qualley, but she can only do so for a week at a time, feeding off the other's spinal fluid. And if you're thinking, why doesn't she just suck old Elizabeth dry to stay young? Well, then you have a pretty good idea where this is going. There's a rivalry that grows between the two women, one which sees the young, vivacious Qualley trying to stay as conceited as possible, and the older Moore consistently paying the price for it. At first, it's just comparing herself to the younger girl and feeling like a loser for it. But Fargeet gets far bolder, audacious, and gross. Body agent makeup, deformities, sores, boils, pus. This movie goes all out. Its repulsiveness will either delight you or make you lose your lunch. But Fargate doesn't stop there. She has made a movie that looks so uncomfortable to the characters in it that we understand them just through the visuals. For Elizabeth, her white tiled bathroom, where much of this medical desperation is taking place, begins to feel like a walls closing in prison. As for Sue, the way she's shot, she's less a person and more of an autonomous bimbo. She's a body, but there is a dead-eyed hollowness behind the eyes, which makes it less sexy and seemingly more soulless. She's like the creepiest beer commercial ever. And much of the building owned by the Quaid character feels like a Kubrick film. The Shining and Clockwork Orange especially. Very chilly and uninviting. It's a perfect way to introduce someone who turns out to be a very boorish, unpleasant man. And if that doesn't turn you off from him, a scene where he's eating shrimp with a camera right in his face tells us all we need to know of Fargate's impressions of this man. But Quaid is just having a great time going over the top as this just very disgusting man. And he's great at playing it. But what the film's rooting interest comes down to is Moore and Qualley, who each do a great job here. Moore is absolutely fearless here, probably channeling much of her own experiences in the industry into a performance that never is falling into a trap of having to try and explain herself. We can see it on her face, the feeling that this is it for her, that she's unlovable in any other way, and ultimately we see how these feelings recklessly cause havoc on her life and drive her to the point of lunacy. And Quayle, like I mentioned, is very disturbing, playing an object who's way too self aware that being an object is what's getting her attention. After a while, she becomes almost parasitic, as do many of the other characters in the film, and there's great subtext to Elizabeth continuing to let them do it. There's shame that a woman who looks like Moore can still be shunned for her looks, and this movie has that voice. But it is so much more aggressive with its anger over that than just doing any moralizing at all. No one escapes this movie unscathed, including Elizabeth, and that goes double for the ending, which is the most shockingly out there, gruesome, just I don't know, if you love horror, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be something that I'm gonna remember for always. But yeah, The Substance is just a great movie in total command of itself. It knows who and what its targets are and holds nothing back in the shocking nightmares it visits upon them. The effort is uncomfortable but bold, and it's hard to both look away or not see the very funny parallels it's making with our youth obsessed and pretty much overly leechy society. This movie stays with you. It's incredible. I'm giving it an A. I can't remember the last time I've given a movie an A. It might be due to who knows, but this movie is very, very good, guys. Go see it. It's the horror movie of the year. But yeah, that's my opinion. Let me know yours down below. Also, please hit that subscribe button. Please click that like button if you like the video. I'm hoping to stay with it, guys. I'm hoping to keep going. I've had a little bit of a health problem this year, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep trying, and I don't know. Hopefully, this turns around in the fall. There's a lot of great movies coming out, and I'm hoping to cover as many of them as possible. But until next time, guys, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you do come back again. Bye bye.